Hey, what's happening everyone? Journeyman here and welcome back to We March On. Today we have a pretty big episode. We're up against Las Palmas in the first knockout round of the first leg. Now, as I mentioned in the last episode, we have about 2 more videos left of this save. 2, I think, maybe. Let me see. This goes on Saturday. Around about 2 more videos left of this save before Foot Manager 2018 comes out. So we'll be speeding things along pretty quick. And let's take a look at the schedule since the last time you joined us. And that was the second time we played Bate Borisov. We comfortably beat them 4-2 and then Swansea 1-0 on camera. Since then, our form's kept up. We've actually played pretty well. We had a couple of defeats. First was 1-0 defeat against Manchester United, our Premier League rivals at the top of the table. We lost them 1-0. And then we followed up with a disappointing performance against Brighton and Leicester respectively. Failed to find the net, and defeat against Leicester was kind of frustrating. It basically set up like a mini poor run. But since then, we bounced back very admirably, and as you can see, our form continued with a 3-0 win over Liverpool, definitely being one of the highlights of the season so far. Really good performance, win 3-0 at Anfield. After that, we're doing okay. We've now qualified to the 5th round of the FA Cup. We're playing Sunderland in between the first leg and second leg today. We won't show that one on camera, but we'll just go from the first leg to the second leg. We'll just do the Las Palmas games. Apart from that, everything's going pretty smoothly at the club. Nothing really to report. Take a look at the league table. We currently sit 3rd place. As you can see, 61 points, with 5 points behind Chelsea, who are currently taking over at top of the Premier League. And we are 8 points ahead of Everton, Arsenal, and 9 points ahead of Man City are chasing us for that 3rd position. So things are going pretty well. We've only got 10 more games left now in the Premier League, so it comes down to crunch time this time of year. Obviously, every game is important. Every match is important. So we have those 2 Las Palmas games, and then we follow up against Man City, Chelsea, and Everton. So all our local teams, obviously this period is going to be absolutely huge in deciding where you finish this season off. Now, obviously, there has been the January transfer window in between the last episode and this one, and transfer-wise, really nothing to talk about. Ronaldo Vieira returned to the club, played a couple games. He got injured and then he returned to full fitness, and we didn't really sell anyone, so he wasn't getting much of a look in the side. So instead he went to QPR on loan for the rest of the year. Now, players coming in, I signed 2 players. Roman Dvorak, who is obviously a regen, looks pretty good, 16 years old, got a lot of potential. And Jan Truka, who's another centre midfielder. He's very, very talented. He's going to have a big future in this game. So apart from that, no big players coming in, no big clubs coming out, players coming out. I didn't have any money to spend on new players, to be honest with you. And players going out of the club. Lamina wanted to move. I think Real Madrid were interested in him. Jeffrey Bruma, Real Madrid are also interested in him, and they basically told me if I get an offer for them, I should accept it. Lucky enough, though, we didn't get any solid offers, and we managed to hold on to 2 of our best players in the club. So let's take a look at that first team real quick, and we'll show you how things are going in that department. Let's sort by average rating. So Jeffrey Bruma has obviously had an amazing season so far. Average rating of 7.65. There's been a rock at the back. Next is Stefano Denswell, who has an average rating of 7.5. They formed a really good partnership, the Dutch duo, as I like to call them, at the back. Trent Alexander-Arnold's having a wonderful first season with us as well. Notched up 9 assists. He's exceeded all expectations as far as his performances this season. Mass is really good. So basically, our back line has been absolutely amazing, as you can see, with Bruma, Denswell, Arnold, and Mass, all our starting back 4 in our top average ratings. If you look at the Premier League table as well, we've actually, let's do it in full because you can see it in its entirety. We've only conceded 15 goals in the league all season, which is an unbelievable jump from last season to this season. So very, very pleased for how that's going defensively. Going forward, we stalled at times, but generally speaking, we rely heavily still on Dembele, Benteke, and Luan hasn't got as many goals as I would have hoped from the attacking midfield role, but he is creating chances, so I can't be too upset with him. Mare Lamina, however, is the surprise of the season. He's notched up 8 goals now this season, and he's been a real threat getting forward in the opposition box. Last season alone, he only scored 3 goals all season, so this one, he's already on 8. So, as you can see, a bit of of a jump, bit of improvement, and he has turned into an absolute beast. I mean, look at those attributes. That is pretty much Football Manager porn right there for you, ladies and gentlemen. Valued at 33 million too. I was hoping if a team was going to come in, they'd pay over the odds, maybe 55, 60 million pounds, that kind of thing. And he's definitely worth every penny. He is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful talent. Anyway, going into today's game up against Las Palmas, no one really scares me from this side at all. Niang is not going to be available. He is unregistered. Maybe he'll be registered in time for the game, but it looks like he's not going to be. However, they do have a very good centre-half in Mauricio Lemos. If I sold Bruma, this was the guy I was going to replace him with. Apart from that, that's really about it. Nothing too spectacular. I go into this game expecting a win, and I think we are going to get it. So this is how we're going to line up for today's game. No real surprises. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is Charlie Austin, because Cookie's been awful. Charlie Austin's not been much better, to be honest with you. So I try to give Paul Hopewell a little bit of a run, see what he's about, because he has grown into a very solid player. And honestly, behind our front two, no one's been very good at all. Anyway, this team we're going with, stop talking about rotation players. Nobody's interested about that. So, Forces in goal, Arnold right back, Bruma, Denswell through the middle, Mass left back, Lamina, Ward-Prowse, Classy in the middle, Luan, Dembele, and Benteke. So pretty much the same side you saw last time out. A few minor tweaks in midfield, things like that. But so far, it's worked for us, so I'm not really that keen to change it. All right, so yeah, we're going to today's game, obviously hoping to get a couple of goals. That will give us a away goal advantage. And if we can do that, that sets us up very, very positively for the second leg. Here's an early chance. Prowse is going to whip it in. Lemos makes the clearance. And it falls as far as Jankovic shoots on the counter-attack now for Las Palmas. Obviously, we are competing in pretty much three fronts now, the Europa, the Premier League, and the FA Cup too. I'd like to maybe win back-to-back FA Cups. That would be quite an achievement. But priority has to go to the league. I want to finish in the top four this season. If not, continue to push Chelsea and Manchester United in the table. And obviously, I want to get as far as I can in the Europa League. And that helps too. Moussa Dembele getting the opening goal of the game within 3 minutes. That's a 28th goal of the season now. I've run out of things to say about him. He's just been absolutely immense. Disappears from time to time, doesn't get involved as far as creating chances, but he's mainly a poaching goal scoring threat, and a fantastic one of that. And Benteke almost scored to double the lead there. That was unlucky from Christian Benteke. He's also had a really good season too, very, very solid up top, always a handful. He's actually been the more creative out of the two, which is kind of strange. I expected Dembele to be more creative, but there you have it. As long as one of them's doing it, I don't really mind. All right, so here's Forster, forward out to Emmanuel Mass, who's also been very, very solid up and down season. And he got injured, obviously, for long periods of the season, but I'm glad he's back in the team because, honestly, Matt Targett wasn't really doing it. Noel Van Gaal, when he got his chance, he was okay, but wasn't spectacular. So I'm very, very glad to see him back. Here is Ward-Prowse. To Mass to Jordi Classy. Here's Lamina. This is what he's very dangerous at. Gets ball forward and lays it off to Benteke, who can't miss from there. It is 2-0, and it looks like this game could be kind of lopsided. I knew Las Palmas weren't a very strong side, but I did not expect to be 2-0 up within 25 minutes of the game, and it's a very solid finish there from Christian Benteke. All right, so yeah, things go very smoothly so far. Nothing really to complain about. Everything's going very, very well. Obviously, third place in the table. We had a chance to leapfrog, I think Man United did, into second spot, but unfortunately we couldn't beat Bournemouth at home. They got a late equaliser, so that was a little disappointing. Obviously, if you drop points at this time of the season, it's very hard to pick them back up again, especially against teams like Man United and Chelsea, who tend to finish the season very, very strong. But we're in a good spot, so I can't complain too much about it. Here is Lamina, opening of the second half. I'm obviously thinking about resting players too, because we have the FA Cup against Sunderland next up. It won't be in this episode. I'm going to skip over that one. So there's going to be a kind of a weird, there's going to be a game in between our live comms today. Here's Luan. There's Dembele to Lamina. He's got a chance, scores, and he does. And Lamina makes it 3-0, ninth goal of the season for Mario Lamina. He's been an absolute force going forward. He's always a threat, creating charges and scoring them. Can't recommend this player highly enough. and I'm looking forward to seeing what a kind of player turns into in FM18. I think at some point I will do a Southampton save on FM18. Not quite sure it's going to be for the channel or for my personal use, but it'll be interesting to see how Mare looks in the new game, because he really is a special kind of talent, and I'm very happy he plays in the red and white. Alright, so a couple of changes. Let's bring off Jordy Classy, who is struggling a little bit. Some of these players, as you can see, the condition is going down. I haven't been rotating the squad that much. I've been trying to stay very, very solid as far as team selection goes, because it's working, and I'm not really keen to change things that are working for me. Alright, so here we go. We got a chance to make it 4 now. Alexander-Arnold gets the byline, pulls it back, and he somehow hit the post. That definitely was not a shot, I can tell you that much, and it would have been very fortunate to go in. Obviously, it would have been a poor piece of goalkeeping as well. Alright, so 15 minutes left to go in this game, maybe time for one more change. Let's bring off Lamina, who has been absolutely outstanding once again. Let's bring on Højbjerg. Okay, so one disappointing, I guess, result to talk about. Obviously, that was that Leicester game. You lost 3 games all season, right? We've lost to Leicester, West Ham, and Manchester United. And honestly, the Leicester game was completely preventable, and I don't know why we lost it. We were absolutely all over them, and Dembele makes it 4-0 in the background. We were absolutely all over them, so it's frustrating to see they've only lost 3 games, and 2 of the losses were actually kind of preventable. I mean, it's all minor stuff, I suppose, at this point. It's kind of moaning for the sake of moaning. I should be very happy. Las Palmas here winning 4-0 in the first leg, which means we should be able to take it easy in the second one. Of course, that's a very dangerous mentality, though, especially in Football Manager. And they've got one back here. Wanderson getting a goal. That's just sick for the season. Wanderson. That's a good old Brazilian name, that one. Signed for 1.7 million. Not bad. So, it's probably championship quality, to be honest with you. So, disappointing to concede late on. A little bit of lapse in defense there. Gomez can't get the ball far enough. We were all ball watching, and Wanderson kind of snuck in and smashed it past Fraser Forster, who's also having a pretty good season too. Between the sticks, 29 years old now, so he's doing well. I mean, 10 clean sheets, 17 appearances. Had a really good season. Fraser Forster, the big man, all 6'7" of him, huge frame, gets across the goal and has made some absolutely belting saves this season. Here's Benteke, looking to make it 5. Christian Benteke, Lewan to Højbjerg. Højbjerg to Alexander-Arnold. To Romero. Romero shoots, and that's an absolutely spectacular strike from Lucas Romero. He hasn't done that on a regular basis this season, but when he has scored, they've usually been wonderful goals, and that's an example of what kind of talent he is. I really think if I was going to play this long term, like Lamina and Romero would be the centerpiece for the team itself. They score absolute belters. They're very, very solid going back and forward. Excellent defenders. And that finishes off the game. It's a 5-1 win. It was just too easy. Just too easy indeed. All right. Yep, so things went very, very well there. Nothing really to add to it, to be honest with you. So again, we do have a game in between this one and the next live con, which is Las Palmas at home. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip a week, and I'll see you on the eve of the Las Palmas second leg. Okay, so here we are on the eve of the second leg against Las Palmas. Obviously, we destroyed them 5-1 last time. Then we played Sunderland in between. We beat them 1-0. I rotated the squad a little bit. You can see Jan Valery made a start and played really well. Got the Man of the Match award. Jan Valery, as you notice, is playing because Torre wanted his loan agreement terminated, so I had to agree to that one. And Daria, also the Brazilian centre-half that made like 3 appearances for me, he also got his loan terminated. So it takes us all the way up to today's game up against Las Palmas. Obviously, it'll take one hell of an effort for them to get back in this tie. But we're not taking any chances. We're going to field the same team that beat them ever so comfortably. 5-1 out last time. No surprises there. Jan Valery actually gets a spot on the bench ahead of Matt Target, in case you're interested. So yeah, as I mentioned, it's going to take one hell of an effort for them to get back in this fixture. I don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. I've seen stranger things happen in the footballing world than Las Palmas beating us, a team winning 4-0 away from home to save their asses in a cup competition. I've seen weirder things. Alright, so early on here, maybe first opportunity to the game, and it looks like he might fall to Las Palmas here. Here's Cadillac, he's through on goal. He gets past and he scores. Okay. I'm going to start to I start to get a little nervous now. Obviously, that's a very early goal, and that sets the front foot. Gets a front foot for Las Palmas. Las Palmas have the front foot. There you go. Words are tough today. Here's Emmanuel Mass. Anyway, here's Luan. It's Alexander. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Lays it back to James Ward-Prowse to Luan. Luan turns, goes by 2 players, shoots, and puts it over the bar. Great play, Luan, and until the finish. That was pretty unlucky. Good effort there from Luan. Always probing, always trying to create opportunities for himself and others. Alright, so 35 minutes on the clock now. Not much has happened since that opening goal. And it looks like it might have been against one to play too. If you look at the match facts, it looks like we were pretty much dominating this game without actually scoring ourselves. So with that in mind, I'm not going to make any changes. Going to keep things as they are, pretty solid. Just see out this fixture. Just do a professional job. That's really all I need the boys to do. They haven't got to win. They haven't got to win 5-1 again. Just be solid. Just don't lose 4-0. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Alright, so anyone tired, anyone struggling? 65 minutes, we haven't created a single chance apart from the one from Luan earlier. Let's make a change. Lucas Romero will come on in place of Jordi Classy, and I'm also going to rest Dembele and play Charlie Austin instead. Obviously scored at the weekend, so maybe he can replicate that and get us back in this game. Alright, so 65 minutes, so 25 minutes left to go, because I can do quick math in my mind. 15 minutes left to go, 10 minutes left to go, still no chances for either side, to be honest. We're very, very tight of fair. Let's be on Jan Valery. Let's get him some European exposure. He's a very talented young right back. He'll definitely provide a decent backup option going forward for Trent Alexander-Arnold, or at least a rotation option. He did a really good job for me last year in the FA Cup run. Remember that one. Here's a chance. Ball's whipped in. Denzel waits the clearance. Mass is nowhere to be found to get the ball back, and Denzel makes another thundering clearance. There's only 1 minute of added on time, and we're in that right now. So I think it's going to end up with a 1-0 home defeat against Las Palmas, which is going to be disappointing because obviously they don't want to lose, and we haven't created any opportunities, so that's a little bit unlike us. Nevertheless, obviously with the result, it does actually see us go through to the next stage of the Europa League competition. And I've got a funny feeling we have the quality to get far in this as long as we avoid some of those big boys. I know Man City are in there. I know Man City are in there. I know Barcelona are in there. Who else did I pick out? Feyenoord. Porto was still around too. They gave us trouble in the group. All right, so we qualified to the next round. Good stuff. And I think the draw is the next day. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip one day. Here we go. And here we go. We're going to watch the draw for the next round of the Europa League. All right, so the view the draw. Okay, so let's see who's in here. Liverpool in here too. That's always a tough game. I would like, out of all those teams, I would like to play Olympiacos or Gelsenkirchen. One of those two teams. If we get one of those two teams, I'll be very, very happy. And we get Roma. Okay. A little bit different to the two teams I mentioned. They're 4th in Serie A right now. Let's see who they got on the side, shall we? All right. So, obviously, the top man, Alessandro Florenzi. Then you have Kevin Strootman still. Marvellous midfielder. Manolas. Nagelen. I mean, they got some absolute belting players. They really do have. Edin Dzeko, obviously, if you're a fan of Man City, you remember this guy. The fan of the Premier League, you'll remember that guy, I'll be honest with you. But never mind, it's a very tough fixture. It's a very, very tough fixture, but that's why we're in Europe. We have to play the tough guys at some point. So we'll have an opportunity against Roma. When will that match be? All right, so it looks like we're playing them in just a few weeks' time from now. So I've only got 2 more episodes left of this save. So what I'm going to do is the next match we'll do the doubleheader against Roma, just like we did today against Las Palmas, the doubleheader, and there'll be a game in between against Everton as well. I'm not sure if I'll show that live, depending on the results from Man City and Chelsea. The Everton game could be huge and may show all 3 inside the same episode. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to leave a like on it. Keep in mind, I've only got 2 more videos of this series to do before Foot Manager 2018 comes out, and when that comes out, that'll be the primary focus, and I will no longer be doing this save on the channel. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying it. If you are, remember to leave a like. If you want to see more videos by me, please hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next part. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.